Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Lounge. I'm your host, Aaron Silverman, with my co-host and partner, Jake Litke. Say hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Today we are joined by Joe Sequenzia, the CMO of Caliva. We are super fired up to have you here in studio doing the show with us. So
I'm fired up to be here, man.
Well, that's awesome. So we're going to have a cool conversation with Joe. I want to start off real quick. You've got a great background in advertising, which you've now transitioned into cannabis. Talk about that just to get us started. How did that happen? And then
Sure.
we're going to kind of go on from there.
I spent most of my career in CPG and specifically in controlled substance. I became interested in cannabis probably 3.5 years ago, like everyone else did. I owned a marketing company based in the Northeast called Milk. We started with our own products, launching them in market, and you could see right away where it's going to go. And coming from controlled substance, you get really excited. You're like, this is the last unplowed field. So for me, I was super passionate. I found myself spending more and more time on that particular piece of business than all the other business that we had. So when the opportunity came to meet Dennis O'Malley, our CEO, I doubled down, sold the agency, moved to California, and now I'm doing this full time.
That's great.
I think you made a great move. And now that you brought up Dennis's name, one thing I got to say about Caliva and its original founders. Not like a lot of other companies and businesses in the space where the original founders get to a point where they realize it's time to bring somebody else in that can help take our brand or help take our business to the next level where we always saw it going. And I think it was great what they did with Dennis by bringing him in, and hats off to them for recognizing that that was probably a good time to do that. And then Dennis starting to build his team with folks that have experience like
Sure.
yours. What have been some of the things you've done? And you've only been there a few months now, but what have you done or what have you seen that's different and unique, applying your background to what wasn't happening at Caliva when you got there?
Well, first of all, we have an amazing team at Caliva. I've been in and out of a lot of companies, as you guys have. Mm-hmm. And when I look around the table of people that I work with and people that sit on the executive committee, it's truly the best and brightest I've ever seen. And everybody's there for the same reason. We're there because we're excited about the space. We're experts in our own space. We bring that into this environment. The environment is open to change and camaraderie. So that's super exciting and it motivates me every day. But I think that all in all, the way our attack plan is for this particular category is really unique. We start at the plant first. We understand and kind of, we honor the plant with what we do. And we are kind of heck bent on the idea of real plant-based solutions. We make effect-based products. We say people come to this category. It's unlike, spirits. Within spirits, somebody will drink a glass of red wine and they'll say it complements the taste of lamb, and I may drink another glass of red wine. But when you come to this product category, you're looking for a definite dynamic effect. You're there for a reason. So kind of the first thing that I did in coming to work at Caliva was kind of look at all of our products, figure out where we want it to be, kind of identify 3 areas that we practice our products in, which are something we call 3 H's: happiness, health, and healing. And then very quickly you can start to organize your product offerings based on those effects. Because again, people drink a glass of red wine for the taste, but people come to THC or CBD for the effect. So I think you have to start there as a CPG person, start with the effect first.
When you say you've got your 3 H's, it doesn't sound like something that you're translating directly to consumers. Like you probably don't label things as one of the H or the other.
That's correct.
So is it you take kind of whatever, it's a mixture of one or the other, and that translates into some sort of branded concept, or how does that work?
Yeah, really they become pillars, and we know that one person's happiness might be another person's health. So they may enter in a happiness area, but they'll probably matriculate around. And what we're trying to do by living up to the standard of, without being too corporate about it, the most trusted name in cannabis. We know if people feel they can trust you, then they're empowered to make choices. They have freedom to kind of move about the cabin, and then they can play around in all 3 areas of that. So they may enter us with one of our products like Fun Uncle, and they're there squarely for happiness. But then very quickly they can say, oh, do you know what, I'm looking for something for healing. Maybe it's for a parent, or I blew my knee out. Well, we have a product for that actually is called Well. It's an entire concept, it's a store, it's a product line. Or they might be looking for healing, and we have products for that too. And then we also have an entire product line, as I was saying earlier to you guys, in beverage. And we're launching our first beverage, which is a CBD and HCBD and caffeine product called Soul Grind. It's a ready-to-drink coffee. We're dropping it December 15th. We're launching it here in California. We're hyper excited about it, and it's going to blow people away.
And will that product be in your Well store? Is that where that lives? And when you say Well store, are you talking about an online store or a physical store?
It's a great question. So we believe in both. We believe in delivery, we believe in the retail experience, which is what we call it, and we believe in having our products and other retail experiences. But in the retail experience, we can really control that. So we have very distinct looks and feels to our retail experiences. On the THC side, we have our Caliva store. We also have another store called Deli, which is a concept store that really is that's our value play, quote unquote. We have 2 stores for that. We're opening our second store in Southern California coming up very shortly. And then we have a store called Well, which is CBD right now. It's a CBD store. It's not a THC store, so you don't have to give your license or anything like that. We sell a variety of wellness products that are CBD based. We have our own product line called Well as well. Things like Well Healed, Well Slept, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a store, it's also a website, and it's also a line of products.
So if I'm going and walk me through this, if I walk into the Well store, what am I looking at? How many different products do you have on the shelves? Is it a very small store?
It's a great question. So we have, the first store we opened was in San Carlos. We opened it about 2 weeks ago. I think we do the hard open happens next week. We did the soft opening about 2 weeks ago. All in all, there are, I may get this wrong, and Elizabeth Cooksey is better to answer this. She heads up retail. But I want to say we have about 200 and maybe 200 different products that are well-based. Our products we're formulating now, will be coming out. We're trying to use it as a learning center so we can see what products are working and what people are desiring. Right now, if you go to the website, if you go to wellbycaliva.com, you can make an appointment with a wellness consultant to say, hey, I want to know, I have this issue. You can schedule a yoga class we do in the back, or you can just wander in off the street and you can sample some of the products.
And so you're selling other companies' products inside of that store.
That's correct.
And then you also sell your product in other people's retail locations.
We do, but for Well specifically, we're using that. We will have our own products there as well as other products. We'll have third-party products and our own products. Our products are still in formulation right now.
So Caliva's always been very well branded. Even from a few years ago, even in what we call the early days of regulated cannabis here in California, you guys have always been ahead of the curve in branding. And then most recently, obviously, the big news was the addition of Jay-Z getting involved with Caliva from a branding standpoint. What's that been like, and how did that work, and how's that going to work?
Sure, it's a great question. So Mr. Carter approached us, and he and his team looked at every cannabis company that was out there, and he really selected us, so we didn't actively solicit him. Mr. Carter contacted us, we fit together very nicely, and we formed a great partnership, so look for great stuff coming from us in the future.
Is there anything you can share with us about any ideas or any plans or anything like that, or is it just wait and see?
Wait and see.
Wait and see,
yeah,
fair
sure.
enough.
Yeah.
So, getting back to your products, you guys have a lot of THC products that are your own, and I don't think a lot of folks realize that, you guys aren't white labeling someone else's production of any kind. You guys are vertically integrated.
That's
you
correct.
create, you make your own products.
That's correct.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Well, we're super proud. We have obviously an indoor grow that's in San Jose. That's a large operation. As I said, we start from the water to the soil to the seed all the way through. We cultivate and grow our own products. We're super proud of our products. We're really proud this year we won the Cannabis Cup for our Z-Cube product, which is our regular mainstream product. So oftentimes within the category, you'll see, some guy in Northern California growing this crazy kush that only he doesn't make it readily just to win that cup. So we were super proud. It's the first time we ever entered it. To enter with our most mainstream product and to win that cup was a really big deal. The guys in cultivation rock. They're amazing guys. So that is one of our mainstay products that we sell. We have a variety of product offerings. You've probably heard of a lot of them, from Fun Uncle to, Reef Leaf, to dog walkers, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. Dog walkers.
I've been using that term forever.
It's awesome. It's about
one
the length of time to walk a dog.
It's exactly right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to talk about is the Soul Grind coffee is a game changer for us. So we did an acquisition, probably 8 months ago of Zola. We acquired Zola. We brought in the Zola team, and actually it's led by our beverage guy who ran that company, Chris Cuvier.
So they have like coconut waters and
they do, yep.
Yeah, okay.
So and they're in like 7,000 doors right now.
Wow.
So with that and with him taking over and another gentleman named Steve Winchell that we just brought on from Clorox to do our product formulation, we together as a team in marketing, we all work super close together we came up with the idea of launching a coffee. We think that's a great place to go.
Great story.
So what we're trying to do is, obviously we're robbing from the energy drink segment as energy drinks become a little older and people become older in their years and some aches and pains. They're looking for a more natural energy source. We think caffeine is a great one, especially a great bean coffee. So combining that with CBD, no one else is doing it, and I can promise you no one is doing it like us.
Yeah,
so it's called Soul Grind. It's amazing. The website is drinksoulgrind.com. We are launching December 15th. We begin shipping product, and we're super stoked about that.
And those will be in your well stores.
We will be selling it in the well stores.
Yeah.
It'll also be available online, but more importantly, we're going to be going out to conventional CPG because it is what you'd see regular CPG in glass cooler. We have distributors set up, so we'll be distributing that product throughout California. So you'll be able to get it.
Yeah, is there any, if someone's listening to this next month and they're looking for it when it is on the shelf, can you share any of the shelves they might go to?
I would say go to the splash page, enter your zip code, and there'll probably be a way for you to find it. If we do our job properly, then hopefully very soon you'll be going into Vaughn's and you'll see us, in a cooler, in a busy cooler with a.
Did you say Vaughn's?
You did.
Yeah,
As in like Southern California Vaughn's? Yeah, awesome. I'm
that's
San
my
Diego
goal.
State guy. That's awesome.
So that we feel each other.
That's right.
So that's our goal. We're launching it. We actually we have 2 launch programs. We're launching in the Bay Area with a program called Mavericks, which is a surf program, which is, if you've heard of Mavericks, you're a surfer, it's a big deal. So we have kind of a surf and snow strategy. We're also launching in Squaw. So we'll be in Squaw and we'll be in Squaw Valley in the Olympic Village area in Tahoe this winter. So that's where we're launching the products with events and activities and stuff like that. You guys will have to come up.
Yes, love to.
It's going to be awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Pretty cool.
What's one of the things you've been impressed with since you got into the cannabis space? Like, what was something you've been impressed with that we're doing that,
Well, you guys know this. We're all from, it's very interesting when when the space first took off, like everybody else, I joined almost immediately. And the most difficult thing that I had as a professional working in marketing was kind of telling the difference between those 3 people, the person who's completely full of it, kind of full of it, and then the people who kind of knew what they were doing. So for me, the first year was just trying to figure out who those people were. But now in the last year, I'd say I'm more and more impressed, and you guys probably have that too. There are more people who are coming over into this category that really understand what it can be. It's not a niche product.
Right.
This is a mainstream
It's an
product.
ecosystem, yeah.
100%. And you see other people that get it, it makes me really stoked, that there are legitimate, business professionals understanding this is not a niche product. This is an everyday, we say it's plant-based solutions for people's everyday life. So, in the future, you would see in someone's bathroom or in their kitchen a line of products from tinctures all the way straight up of different levels of THC for what they're looking for, effect-based products. And I think that's what makes us kind of an unfair advantage in the space. We really get that.
That's amazing. Yeah, we've found that, because we've been doing this now for a couple of years on the marketing side, and when we first started, apologies if there was someone out there that I haven't met, but I don't think that we met a CMO. There was not a CMO, and because there wasn't marketing departments. Right? We entered this space, and but they couldn't do advertising. No one could advertise. It was billboards and magazines.
And buses.
And it took us a while to figure out ways to do proper digital advertising. But then there was no one ready to do that.
Sure.
Right? And so it's really nice to have people like yourself and your team, and the fact that you have a team, you show up with 4 other people that are all also doing marketing, not just one person. It's great.
That's awesome. Well, I think what you guys do, like really, I meant it when I talked to you on the phone. A light went off for me. This is what we're looking for. So it's great to see somebody who's on that resource side that really gets it on the resource side. And my team is awesome. Christine, Diana, Matt, they're the best.
Yes.
So
you guys are the best.
Throwing you guys some love.
That's right.
I have one other question. I don't know if you do, but I hear on the supply side in California, there's ups and downs, and I've heard anecdotally that there's a shortage of high quality flower that's going to come up. It always seems to be looming. Now you control your own supply, but that also means that you're kind of beholden to that. So how do you, as a company, make sure that, because you can't just make something overnight, it takes time.
6 months.
And you've got products rolling out, you've got new stores, you have to have the appropriate things to put in those products. How do you stay ahead of your own production needs?
Man, that's a great question. What I would say, it's unlike any other industry because there is limited resources where you could kind of get great product from. So for us, it's super important as we're growing to really have people that understand how to properly forecast. So we work really closely together, marketing, sales, distribution, and we try to map out our forecasting, and then it connects back to the grow to make sure that we have a pipeline that's always consistent with the best product. Like, it's not an easy task. And again, as you guys know, the ground is unfettered. So it's like every day you're trying to figure it out, which is awesome, you know, on one hand, but you're inventing stuff every day. We always say we're building a train while it's on the tracks. So it's going 80 miles an hour.
We say a rocket.
We're
building a rocket while we're flying it.
Or a plane, right? All depending upon how daring you want to make that analogy.
Any mode of transportation,
something like that.
I got one last question. What sort of advice or heads up or suggestions would you give to, I won't limit this to a retail brand or business or operator, but more so to someone running a business or building a brand in the cannabis space that isn't necessarily taking marketing seriously, or they haven't figured out that there is a time and place when they need to be talking about it. What sort of suggestion or advice would you give to them as a CMO of a well-established brand and business that's got all sorts of things going on?
I mean, I'd say the obvious, and that is your life will probably be short-lived in this category, because I think unless you understand properly how to speak to identify who your core target is, how to communicate with them in a way that shares their values and have a product that makes sense for them. If you don't understand that this is a marketplace, what we always say is we've gone from Henry Ford to Elon Musk in this category. So it's like an overnight, and I think everybody's moving at the speed of light right now to get there. But if you're not equipped to understand that the people who are there waiting to buy this product are just as sophisticated, who we look at from our target, then I think you're lost pretty quickly. You'll be on the roadside if you don't take marketing super seriously. I mean, we will be in the same business as Starbucks. I mean, very shortly. We kind of are in many ways.
Yeah. Well, you are. You're making coffee now.
That's right. Exactly correct.
Yeah.
Very astute. So, that to me, I think that the time is right now to take it seriously, to take branding, and you think about acquisition, consumer strategy, all of the stuff that we all know and live and breathe with from outside of the category. The time is now to really have those tools.
And I think one other thing that I've come across is talking to a lot of different young brands is, you need to identify, you either need to build a product that suits a specific persona or something, right? Or you need to build the reverse, one or the other. Build a product for a set of people, or find a set of people and build a product for them. Yeah. If you're not doing one of those things, because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's cannabis, everybody wants it, I'll just sell it to everyone.
Sure.
It's not going to work, because there's other people that are targeting very specific types of demographics.
100%.
And they'll be more effective.
I think that's really well said. Cool.
Well, awesome. Joe Sequenzia, this was awesome having you in studio.
Thanks.
CMO of Caliva. This was a great conversation.
Thanks for having me. And good coffee you served me too, which is super important.
Well, that is important. In fact, we want to thank our sponsor, Soul Grinds, for sponsoring this episode. Be on the lookout for that. December 15th it drops.
Awesome.
And you can check out any of the cool Caliva stuff going on their social channels, which will be posted up here at the bottom of the screen.
Awesome.
You guys know how to do all that.
Caliva.com, wellbycaliva.com, delibycaliva.com, and drinksoulgrind.com.
Perfect.
Great.
There you have it. Well, thanks again for being here.
Man.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, it was great having you.
Much.
Thanks again for watching and listening to The Liquid Lounge. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Jake.